Macca
Wait, are you
straw.
saying
with
that fishing didn't exist until braid was invented?
Well, not in any fun way.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Deep Drop Fishing Podcast. This is a place where it's okay to have a dumb idea. It's okay to say something that you're not sure about, but you just want to throw it out there because guess what? That's what we do. That is what this podcast is about. My name's Luke McCredden. With me, as always, Adam Ring. It's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, nailed it. And you're right. It's a safe space because we will take a dumb idea and break it down to a point where it seems like a good idea, and then we'll throw it back to everybody else listening to go, what do you think? Because it's a bit of a cliche. There's no dumb ideas. Not entirely true. It's just sometimes you need to pick them apart to find out what the nuts and bolts of the idea was, and then you come up with some really cool stuff. So, we ask a lot of questions.
I think the key is it's a safe space.
It is.
So if you've got like just half an idea of something that you go, geez, do you think this would work? Because I mean, we're well into the 90s now, and we've brought up some really dumb things, but also some stuff that we've brought them up on the show, but then, we'll catch up, it might be months later and you go, that thing that you were talking about, I gave it a go. Like,
well,
didn't work.
It's interesting because you say we've over the course of, we're in the mid-90s episodes like you mentioned. What have we spoken about that you say was dumb? Because even...
Am I being harsh? I'm probably being harsh.
Because I think back to some of them and like little bits and pieces about maybe some apparel choices or the etiquette of going to the toilet on a boat. Or,
no, you're right. It's not dumb.
They're not dumb.
No, it's not.
They're everyday situations which most people on their public platforms would neglect to talk about. Yeah. Not us, Luke.
No, all right. I'm going to go back to episode 1, Adam. Episode 1, we spoke about what defines a barrel tuna, what weight defines a barrel tuna, why hasn't micro jigging taken off in Victoria, and is it okay to be cagey and post pics at the same time? None of them are dumb. They're all very, very relevant.
That's right. No dumb questions.
All right, I'm just going to spin the wheel and stop. Episode 28. Okay, well, we were talking about, what were our favourite species head-to-head, snapper versus mulloway, bream versus trout, tuna versus kingfish.
Not dumb.
Spin the wheel again. Episode 51. You questioned me to see if I was in the top 1% anglers based on one of Starlow's topics that he brought up on his public forums. Not dumb. It's all right. Well, there you go. We've just done literally what we've done on the show a lot and sort of reverse engineered what we initially spoke about.
And we just described what the deep drop was and didn't even mean it.
We didn't even mean it. So if you're new here, a very, very warm welcome, and you've probably just got a 3.5 minute snapshot of the deep drop in its absolute purest form. But if you're a regular or you're back for the, you're testing the waters for the second or third time, you still weren't sure about it, it's great to have you back. In all honesty, though, Ads, we talk about this very, very often off air, is how much we appreciate the support and the following and the feedback and the really positive messages we get every day. It means a hell of a lot, and it certainly helps us keep coming back every time. But we're having a ball. We're very lucky to be able to talk about fishing every day, Ads, for our jobs, but then to be able to come here and loosen up a bit, I suppose.
Yeah, just get a few of those ideas out there.
Just get a few
pull
of
them
them
apart a little bit.
So Spotify is a great place. You can find the Deep Drop if you're telling anyone about it and want to send them somewhere. Go to Spotify, search a Deep Drop Fishing Podcast, or you could, of course, go to thedeepdrop.au. That's the website, Ads.
Yep. Check it.
Instagram. The Instagram.
The gram.
Is the Deep Drop. There's a few underscores in there, but you'll work it out.
Yeah, it's all
Look
good.
for our green logo. And listen, Instagram's great. We get lots and lots of feedback on that, and that's brilliant. We've had some ripper stories come through the last couple of weeks, Ads. One last week just had me in stitches. That was one of the great stories we've had. We actually heard from, do you remember in that story him referring to his friend Jack? I think it was Jack that sort of packed up his stuff for him and headed back. So we heard from Jack. And he said, yeah,
yes.
can confirm.
True story.
I love that. And we got a couple late come through as well. So we've got some more stories. And I think, the Deep Drop story time is going to be becoming a regular.
Could be a segment.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so get in touch. We love it. So thank you, everyone who does reach out and send a message or send a video or do whatever. We love hearing from you. Don't stop. Don't be a stranger, as they say.
Yeah, don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger. All right. So to kick off, Adam, I do have something that I wanted to bring to the table. Now, it could be slightly controversial, but not in the sense of you're probably thinking. The reason there may be some controversy around this is I'm questioning the industry that I'm in a roundabout way, and you'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. But I want to know from you and the listeners, because it's something that, now, backstory, the reason I thought of this the other day was because I had a mad wing knot on my braid. We've spoken about wing knots ads.
I had one too last week, and I nearly retired from fishing.
Just in general, nearly sent me the message saying, here's my resignation from the deep drop.
I was nearly one rod and reel down. That's how bad it was.
Well, I got that hectic wing knot on the boat when we were filming Hook, Line and Sinker the other day. Well, it wasn't even a wind. It was kind of a wind knot, but it turned into that weird thing that it does around your spool. You know how it just loops out?
Mine got under the spool and onto the main shaft, and I don't know. It defied gravity.
It doesn't. It's not. Oh,
infuriating.
We've said it before. It's the most groundbreaking bit of kit or bit of technology in fishing, but it's also the worst.
The worst.
It's the worst.
Yep, it's the worst, best invention in fishing.
It's the worst, best invention in fishing. It's, yeah. You know that, and this exact moment right now, I'm feeling it, and it's fucking annoying me.
That's right. It's a feeling.
And it's a feeling. I challenge everyone listening to think about it, because I'm sure everyone's had that. How does that work? Anyway, so I was actually, I had to peel half my braid off one of my spools because of these wing knots that were getting all over the joint. But the question that sort of popped into my head, and I wanted to raise with you and the deep droppers out there, ads, was, are we actually putting too much braid on our reels? Now, this is not wing knot related, right? This is not tangle or wing knot related. This is a genuine question because the reason it came to my mind is because I peeled a shitload of braid off trying to get this loop that had just happened randomly underneath, and I went, but there's still a shitload on here that is brand new braid. You can tell by the colour of it. And I went, I don't need all the braid that's on this spool, clearly, because I've just ripped off what feels like half of it. It's probably not half of it, but it's a fair chunk of it. And I'm like, I just feel like maybe we're just using or, loading our spool. And look, we there's always backing, mono backing. I mean, how many spools in the past have you and I spooled up in our tackle shop days, ads? The number would be frightening, I think. Yep. But we've always done it in a way when we got, I know, you tend to get pretty skillful at knowing how much backing needs to be on a certain size spool for a certain size amount of braid, and it's nuts.
That's one of the finest tackle shop feelings. That
nailing
anyone listening to this who works in a tackle shop,
when you get it right,
when you millimeter perfect, just eyeballing the backing on and then laying the braid over the top. Seriously, it's a good day.
It's what a day.
Yep.
And what about
and you want to call people over to look at it? you want to go no, like. The amount of times I reckon I'd done that and looked to the customer that I was spooling for and just hit him with a nailed it.
And you hope they appreciate it.
No, but they do, because some of them look at it and go, some of them watch you do it carefully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most
and they're like, oh, how do you know how much backing? And you're like,
I got this.
Done this a few times.
It's not my first rodeo, pal.
But then if you fuck it up.
But you do, though. You want to walk up to the counter and just interrupt someone serving. Someone goes, sorry, I'm just going to grab you for a minute.
One shot.
Can you just have a look at that? See it? Oh, I'll just hold it up so you guys up the back can see it. Yeah, that's one hit. That's one shot. The fuck up things are that's an awkward feeling. Look, I've been out of the store game a while, and you have too, so you don't have to say anything if you don't want ads. But I've certainly had moments where there's probably a good 30 plus meters still on the spool that you haven't quite got on there, and you just snip it off, going, fucking nailed it, and quickly put that under the desk.
Or you can see that you're overfilling, so you really clamp down, and that top 20 to 30 meters is on there so tight as a nun's, because you just want to be able to give him the spool back, going, no, we got it all on there.
Oh, well, there's still some on there. Oh, it's just it's a couple of meters on there, mate. That's We digress. I want to know how you feel about what I'm talking about, because I'm okay. So the vast majority of spools of braid that you'll buy off the shelf, and I'm just generalising, are either 300 metres or 150 metres, yards, whatever you want to call them. Because what I want to do is I want to unpack it a bit. I want to get your just gauge on that as just an overarching topic. But then what I want to do is talk about some fishing applications, and maybe we might land on how much braid do we think we actually need, right? So just generally speaking, how do you feel about it? Do you think we're putting more braid than we'll ever need on our spools?
Well, I think in general we're putting more line in general, whether it be braid or mono, and because that's kind of just what you do. We used to joke about it all the time. If it's one thing that we're obsessed with in fishing, it's drag pressure and how much line you get on there, both of which you'll never ever need max drag, and you'll never ever need 300 plus meters of line on your spool. But it's just something that's part and parcel with the game, because I think a lot of it is you want to know you're getting value. I mean, could you imagine going to just ducking down to the tackle shop and buying a 50-meter spool of braid? Even if it costs you the same as, say, it was in relation to, say, I don't know, you're paying $35 for a 150-meter spool of braid. If you were paying like $18 for 50 meters or $10, it would hardly seem worth the exercise.
I get it, but you talk about value, and then I look at some people, and I don't necessarily care, but like you might look at the braid that's sitting under the braid you're actually using every day and go, Jesus, there's $20 worth of braid on that.
Happens all the time.
So I guess then I started thinking about, well, how much braid do we need? And I know it's a bit of a open question, because ultimately you might need more one day than you would the previous day. But generally speaking, so let's break it down a bit. And if we'll start in the estuary systems, we're chasing brim and flathead.
Yep.
How much braid are you actually using?
20 meters max.
I rest my case.
Because those fish aren't running.
That's what I'm saying. You'll never, surely, right? So if you're spooling up a 1,000 size, 2,500 size reel, 6 pound, 8 pound, 10 pound, whatever, firstly, you're not putting on 300 meters. You're going for the short spool of 150 meters or yards.
Yep.
And that will never be used in full. I wouldn't imagine no one would ever use more than, and like, don't get me wrong, you snip some off every now and then when you tie leaders and that. But as far as the use, would anyone use 100 meters? Think about it. Like, how far are you casting, right?
Well, it's not. I don't think it's necessarily about casting. So realistically, the only time you're going to lose braid is tying on leaders and stuff every time when you just cut off that little tag.
Yep.
Or you get the odd bust up, snag, or fucking wind knot that we've just spoken about.
Yeah, wind knots certainly, yes.
So you're probably more covering yourself for everyday muck-ups and
incremental
pieces. The fish aren't going to do that.
No, and that's what I was going to say.
They're not going to do that to you.
I know, you're casting, however, if you get a screaming run, it's that extra bit, but it's still not, in my opinion, remotely close to 100 meters.
No. But it's.
Have you ever, just because you've done a lot of this style of fishing, well, it kind of goes for anything, but have you ever gotten to the point where you've had braid on long enough and your incremental loss, as we're calling it, has gotten you anywhere near the backing?
Never.
Has anyone out there listening? Because I reckon the answer would be never.
I reckon I've had
No, you haven't. You're lying.
No. I haven't. No, I've never run out of braid. Don't get me wrong. I have got to a point where I can see the join knot from the braid to the backing.
Is that just because it's a nasty big double uni that's like way too big?
No, the braid was so fucking thin.
Yeah, I think we've all felt that.
And you're right. So what I was going to say is, you think we would have seen more of an influx of shallow spool reels.
Yeah.
Where you don't need to back them, because this is the thing, with braids getting insanely light and insanely thin in diameter, unless you're competent at tying, you almost got to tie an FG knot to some of these things so that you're not having those problems with braid clipping the join knot and the backing and all those bits and pieces. So you do want to try and avoid backing where you can, but it even feels like you're buying less reel when you buy a shallow spool reel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. You might feel, I've had this feeling before. I'm like, if I get that, I'm a bit restricted.
Well, because do you know what else is also shocking? If you were to, all right, for those that are thinking about respooling their reels.
Yeah. I'm in that boat now.
So take it down to your local.
Yeah.
Get them to spool it for you and go and pick your braid off the wall at which you want to put. Now we're talking 2500 size reel light braid. Braids are so unbelievably thin these days. You will be shocked with how much backing you need to put on it. Heaps. I guarantee you will watch whichever staff member it is spooling your reel for you, and if they load that backing to where it needs to be, you will swear black and blue that he's about to half spool the braid that you've bought and throw the rest in the bin. It's so unbelievably thin.
You'll start thinking he thought you meant mono.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, stop. I want a braid.
You will 98% spool the reel with mono before you put braid on it.
So, and then there's this is kind of segueing, but that adds weight to your reel. There's reels these days are lightweight. For casting all day, all of a sudden you've got 500 fucking kilos of mono on. All right. So what do we land on? I actually want to try and land on this. I've got 3 scenarios. I want to land on something. So estuary, brim, flathead. How much braid do you actually need?
Well, throw out
not much. Throw out the the idea of having a bit more because just in case sort of thing. Just how much braid will you use in a season, let's call it.
Season?
Well, you know what I mean. Like
30 meters? Maybe not even.
So you could put on 50 meters of braid
and have more than enough for as long as you can think. So probably more to the point. What?
I don't want to jump the gun and try and sound like I'm trying to crowbar my way into the tackle industry from a braid manufacturing point of view. But hey, I'm hearing product development ideas.
But I don't know. But it's weird though because 150 meters, so 125 to 150 meters.
They seem like a small,
No, but it sounds about right.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah,
it sounds about right.
Yeah.
When
I peeled off the braid that was having issues, and it was clearly the braid I've been using a lot because it was faded, but when I got to the point where all the braid underneath was beautifully and clean and never touched the water, and I wasn't even near the fucking end of it.
No, it's just in case braid, really.
It's just in case braid. That wouldn't be bad. Maybe we should bring out our own braid, the deep drop braid, and it's like
just in case braid.
Yeah, and it's like 600 meters of 6-pound braid. All right.
So when does line capacity matter though? Does it matter?
Well, we might get there. We might get there. But I wanted to ask you about, let's call it inshore. So let's talk demersals and snapper and things like that.
Ooh, yep.
Now, obviously, you might go, but some reefs are 80 meters of water.
Yes, this is what I was going to get to.
Yeah. I would say most inshore fishing is up to 50 meters, let's call it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to say most, like a lot. So especially in our part of the world, South Coast, New South Wales, Victoria might be in the bays, but also might be offshore there where, that 40-metre mark is pretty consistent. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Let's alter it slightly to taking into consideration the depth. How much more do you need?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, the thing I straight away think of with the depth is it's not so much the depth itself, it's how much more space you've got for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
and I mean that as in like whether it's a frigging cooter hitting the braid or whether it's getting wrapped up on a bit of reef. Now all of a sudden you've got 20 meters of braid that's been run along the top of a reef or something like that. So I think if you were to put the cap at 50 meters, I straight away think 150.
Yeah.
Because also I don't want to be spooling. I don't even want to be spooling with braid. I don't even want to be spooling every season.
It's interesting because when you spoke about, and I think you're spot on, by the way, your estuary fishing and 150 metres sounds about right. It doesn't sound right for if you're fishing a reef offshore or, inshore or in the bay.
Does it?
It doesn't.
You'd grab a 300-metre spool straight away.
Straight off
and
the bat.
You would not even think twice about it.
No, and you wouldn't touch 3/4 of that ever.
No.
I don't think. Now, there might be one thing we get a lot of ads on the deep drop is people. We run into some people, and we get a message. A lot of commentary is the same. But I was yelling at my phone. I was yelling at my car radio. I want to be involved in this conversation because I've got something to say, which is brilliant, and we love that. By the way, do you think that people are yelling right now? Potentially, yeah. Good. Yeah. Let us know. Like, turn that into a bloody record what you're yelling on your phone and send it through on Instagram.
But then have a look at baitcasters. Give us the answer. So take cod fishing for example. If you take a normal 200 size baitcaster and put 50-pound braid on it, you're not getting 100 meters of braid on there.
So one of the I guess cod and barra could be spoken about too. How much do you need with them? They're not going anywhere.
No. The most amount of line you'll ever have out is if you want to go for a troll. And are you gonna want to put the lure 80 meters behind the boat? You're not. No. All
right. So you're comfortable with 150 meters on fishing for things like snapper, light inshore stuff. Yeah. I'm with you. I totally agree with you. The next one. There's an immediate answer, but let's break it down because it still might be right. Offshore, tuna, casting at tuna, kingfish, mackerel, up in Queensland, that sort of thing. So instantly you go, screaming runs and
That's right. Yeah. Instantly you feel like as much as your reel hold.
Yeah. 300. If it holds more, go bulk spool and just fill it.
Yep. Serious.
But over the last couple of years I've had the pleasure of traveling a little bit more and tackling some species that I haven't done before or for a long time. And, like I said, some of the mackerel species, decent-sized Spaniards, dolphin fish, locally sort of bluefin tuna, kingfish. How much line are they actually taking?
I bet you would be surprised how much they're not taking.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I'm going with it.
I honestly believe it. I think we get excited.
Mm. Oh, and good, and rightly so. It's bloody exciting.
We want to think that the first run was 100 meters.
Yeah, easy.
It was 15.
Let's listen to it, boys. 20. Okay, and look, this is very open for because we're not talking about 100-kilo fish.
No.
Hooked on the troll where your first run could easily be like, a big amount of line off your route. So we're when I talk bluefin, I'm thinking more like casting poppers and stick baits at, your typical size schoolfish down here. Kingfish, honestly, this might be controversial, but I don't care how big the kingfish is. It's not taking that much line off you.
No, but do you think that they're commonly thought of as a fish that runs long and hard or will just dog it out?
it depends who you speak to because I've heard a lot in the past. I feel like we've spoken about this on the show before, where people say they get spooled by kingfish.
No,
You're not.
not buying it.
You're not. You're getting busted up on a
And if you are, well, okay, I have very strong opinions on this topic, Luke, and I don't think I'll be swayed from them.
Let's hear it. You have the floor, my friend.
If you get spooled, you've either made a very poor tackle choice
Yes.
or you've just had one of those out of the box things where something way too big has eaten something way too small. Because here's what I mean by that. If I go, all right, I have done this, by the way. I caught a bluefin tuna at Portland.
Yep.
On a 3,000 size reel.
I remember this.
That was spooled with 10-pound braid.
Yep.
It was a tiny tuna. It would have been lucky if it was 8 kilos.
Yep.
If we did not drive the boat like it was 100 kilos, I would have got spooled. And you know why would have got spooled, Luke? Because fishing for tuna with a 3,000 size reel and 10-pound braid is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do. I do.
So, because the other problem I had with 10-pound braid on a bluefin tuna is I could put zero pressure on it.
Yeah.
It was angling me.
Yeah.
I was not in control at all. I had a 3 to 6 kilo rod, and it's just something you're like, I've just got to hope the fish plays the game.
Yeah.
Because this tackle is not designed to be doing this.
No, and that's a perfect example of what you're saying. If you're getting spooled, you're undergunned. Your tackle choice is horrible. But that's where I'm like, if you're set up even a little bit off, you're certainly not getting spooled by kingfish.
Because it kind of it's kind of similar but different. It's the same with the whole max drag situation. Oh, look at this 2,500 size reel. It pulls max drag at 12 kilos. My opinion, if you need 12 kilos of drag and you're using a 2,500 size reel, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, that's pretty much.
If you need 12 kilos of drag, you shouldn't be using a 2,500 size reel.
That's pretty much it. Well played. So I'll ask the question. Fishing offshore, and we're talking about braid. So we are talking about braid. So we're not talking about trolling with a, Tiagra 50 wide and mono. We're talking about braid on a spin outfit or, So kingfish, tuna, mackerel, How much do you need in your opinion?
300 feels right to me.
300 feels right, but are you ever
excessive.
using 300 meters of braid?
No, you're probably only using it. Realistically, you're probably only using 150.
Yeah,
but 300 feels right
because I feel the lack of confidence going offshore, knowing that you've just put 150 meters of braid on with backing
a 10,000 size reel.
You wouldn't be confident.
No, you'd be like,
I think you're fine.
No, you'd probably still not see the join knot.
No.
But again, I think you need more than 150 solely for the risk of something.
You're more chance.
You've got a lot of line out, so there's just more things that could go wrong.
With it,
whether it's hitting the prop or whether it's hitting the gunnel, whether it's
crossing swords.
Yeah, that's it. Which it's embarrassing for everyone. There's dodgy line roller,
No, you're right.
There's so many things.
There's more things could go wrong. So I'm with you. And I think that is the one situation that if you do, you just go more than you need, but it just feels right. We talk about confidence a lot.
That's right. Confidence boost more than anything.
Yeah. All right.
It's a pretty interesting question though, because it's this, and it doesn't even need to be braid. Even mono, for example. I mean, you put some 8-pound mono on a 2,500 size reel. When you're seeing the bottom of it, once when you pull it off to change it, like you're not getting that low.
No. So why aren't reels made with shallower spools?
I actually don't know.
Because when you think about any reel. And like we've seen,
Well, okay, though, in the grand scheme of things, though, braid is only relatively new. So if you take a 2500 size reel, say you want to put 10-pound mono on it.
yeah,
Also remember when fishing was kind of really getting big time, we're not talking about these ultra thin lines.
No.
10-pound was the equivalent to what we're using, 15-pound, 20-pound in some cases.
yeah.
And then you go and add braid again, which is now an eighth of the diameter on top of that.
I get it.
The reels need to get with the times.
Reels need to get real.
Yeah.
But you and I were both, well, I'm assuming you can remember, I've got a couple of years on you, but where before braid was a thing.
Yep.
Did you ever, if cast your mind back, did you ever get close to running out of line on it, having mono all the way through?
Nah, never.
That's what I mean.
But I also never fished for anything that could physically take that much line. You know what I mean? Like we probably need to go and speak to.
You're a garfish specialist, I can tell.
Yeah, so I was a Silver Valley man.
Were you?
Hastings Pier, Turritin Pier, my first ever fish, Silver Valley Turritin Pier.
What about
Remember
GTs?
it like it was yesterday.
GTs of renowned for those screaming runs and heading back to the reef.
I just don't think they were ever caught before braid.
It's still not. No. But I'm just back on the braid thing. They're still not going far.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but think about it. Think about it back then. We need some old school listeners to get in touch here because I am 100% pleading ignorance to this. How were GTs caught before braid?
Surely it was the same, but just with mono.
Well, were they casting poppers? Imagine casting a popper on a 9-foot glass rod with 30-pound mono.
We've got some GT people in the audience. I want to hear from them.
Because the other thing too, when you're trolling,
yeah, of course they would have been.
They'd have to. I don't know. Were they catching it? Lures probably weren't a thing. Were they just trolling?
They were.
Just trolling a macca
Are you
straw.
saying that fishing didn't exist until braid was invented?
Well, not in any fun way.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no, surely it was all happening. There's some lures that, brands and styles that are older than braid.
Yeah, but shit ones like just metal slugs and stuff.
Even a metal slug on mono. It's hard work. I don't know. I'm thinking about going back to mono.
Doing anything on mono after using braid.
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll hate it after the first session of catching fish and want to change it.
Do you know what I won't get? A fucking wind knot.
But you'll get line twist.
Don't care. It's not a wind knot.
True.
I remember as a kid.
You don't mind cutting it off.
Do you know? I remember as a kid casting. Fishing at around sort of Port Phillip heads there and stuff, and you get big salmon coming around and whatever. And after a day casting metals using mono, obviously, I remember heading back to the ramp. Dad saying, "Let your line out. We've got to straighten it."
Yes, get the twist out of it. But having said all that, still one of the best sessions I've ever had on salmon was casting metal slugs. And I was using a 12-foot glass rod with some 80-size Akuma reel with, I'm sure it would have had to have been mono.
Yeah. When was this? Last week?
Yesterday.
How'd you go?
I found one of Dad's surf rods in the
Hey, but you know what you could do back then? Let's tie that bad boy straight on.
Yes, no leader knots.
Oh, leader got bitten off by a tailor. Don't care. Doesn't
Who cares?
matter.
I'll just
tie a new
tie
one.
another
tie
Macca
lure
straw on.
Yeah.
Macca straw on an O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how they did it back then, didn't they?
Yeah, and a bean sinker to get the cast weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teases a lot of good things about mono. I'll bring it back.
Have you tried mono in recent times?
No, we were talking just the other day. You and I were on a boat with Lee Rayner, and we were talking about fishing fluorocarbon all the way through.
Yep.
I want to try. I do want to do that.
I want to see how much I would hate it, because the closest the last time that I used mono in any serious way, I do have a trout reel that has fluoro straight through on it. Not going to lie, really appreciated not having to tie a join knot.
Yeah, No, that's fair.
Really, but
No win knots.
Bet Hardley had the greatest trout session of all time. I got 2 or 3. I can't remember if it was good or bad.
Yeah.
So I would give that a go again. Port Phillip Bay snapper, and seriously, I will take the shit line lay of braid and fish less rods just to feel something. It's like fishing with a rubber band.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to. What about even when you think about the finesse these days of your brim and flathead and estuary perch and bass fishing? How were we doing that with 10-pound mono back in the day? Casting.
How were we getting some of those big fish out of the snags?
They were just slingshotting. I think they'd hold on to a point and then they're just elastic of the mono would just flick them straight into the boat.
We should try it. Put it on our list of things to do. We need to go for a fish and maybe cover a few different species. We probably need to get some real data where we're only taking real spool with mono.
Even something as simple as squid fishing, because you're always working a jig.
Yeah,
I feel like that will feel so alien if I did that. I'm going to do it, actually. Well, let's do it.
I wonder how much it affects, because we always say we don't use mono on lures because it kills any action. I wonder how true that is. Fluorocarbon doesn't have anywhere near as much stretch as what a standard mono does.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking full mono, like standard, like monofilament.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
It could be a breath of fresh air or just a non-event.
I'm going to put 8-pound mono. So I don't want to go ultra light. I want to keep a bit chunky, to add to it. I reckon 8-pound mono was my go-to for Port Phillip Bay as a kid.
Yeah.
For everything.
6 and 8 pound.
Because you didn't think about line that much back then.
No, you didn't. No,
8-pound covered it all. Squid, whiting, flathead. Bang, done.
Yeah.
All right. What's the other reel got on it? 8-pound mono.
Yeah.
There is. That's all I need.
If you weren't tying leaders, if the point is to take advantage of one of the perks of not having to tie leaders, are you caring about what colour your mono is?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it ever, but certainly not since braid was around.
I want clear. I think for my own clear or a light blue. I could probably deal with a light blue.
I reckon I could handle a light pink, a pink.
Like an old school Andy pink, or we're talking like Maxima fluoro?
Nah, because Maxima's really heavy pink.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's a deep.
Oh, it's punch in the face pink.
I'm thinking more like your sort of that, what is it, like Momoy type leader type faded pink colour.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yozuri,
yeah, like some of those pink leaders.
Yeah. Like that sort of stuff. I don't even know if that is a mono in that colour, but I'll take that. But clear, I think clear is just your sort
clear.
Of where you go. Blue. All the some of the game reels were always blue.
Yeah, they were always
Berkeley
really
big game.
They were always really solid colours though. But that I don't think really matters because you've generally got a wind on or some sort of long clear leader anyway. What's your take on those browny colours for like trout line?
Well, the trout line thing's funny because since I didn't do much trout fishing as a kid, and when I sort of started getting into it, it was always braid, and then obviously with your leader. But I didn't know until for a while. But there was that discussion around using mono is more effective. But then then the different shades of color. Yeah, so I don't really have a position on that. But where did you stand with it? Like where did you sit with it?
I don't know. I've never done enough. No. I've never done enough like float fishing for trout, where the old like Maxima Chameleon or some of those old darker sort of brown tannin coloured lines.
They were a weird feeling line too from memory. I haven't picked up a spool of that.
It's because they were like were matte
hair or wire or something.
Yeah, it's like because they had a matte finish. It wasn't. Like, it was strange.
Was it sort of braid before braid was around? Like were they
don't
sort
know.
of?
Does it stretch? I don't know.
That's what I mean.
It is a mono.
Yeah, it is a mono. It's just like they were just trying to, I don't know, change things up. Colours always fascinate me as far as, we talk about lures all the time, but
because braid, I don't care. I want to be able to see it, so I tend to want a brighter coloured line. Mono, I have a think about what we sell in the Suffolk stuff through work, and there is no. It's kind of like it's either a darky pale green or it's clear.
We'll throw it out there. Like what mono colors are you using and why? But I don't know if anyone gives a fuck.
Yeah, but
and that's not disrespectful to the mono or the
it's actually
people
a fair
using
comment.
it. Have we opened up this for absolutely no reason?
It's a fair comment.
But yeah,
but I wouldn't feel if we were going to have a crack at this mono thing.
Yeah,
I don't know how comfortable I would feel with anything except for clear or like a pale green or blue or something.
I'll put it out there. The colour's going to be the last thing on your mind. I don't think you'll be comfortable using mono full stop.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's going to be good. We're going to do it. Yeah, we're going to do it. I think the reality is monofilament is still one of the highest selling line in the country. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's still an absolutely relevant.
Mono's the OG. And I think you started to hit on it before when I very, very rudely and disrespectfully commented that GTs were never caught before braid.
Yeah.
Mono's the OG.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah.
All of the records are on mono.
Yep. There's a reason. Yeah, exactly. What's fly line? No, I'm not going to go there.
Irrelevant.
Mono fascinates me. I was up in Queensland recently with the Tackle Tactics crew. I was watching Platypus Mono get made from scratch.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Fascinating. Brought out the nerd in me, ads.
Complex?
Oh, yeah. Heaps of machines and shit. And that's about as technical as my description is going to get, by the way. If you're going, I want to hear Luke talk about it. No, just machines and shit.
Yeah, no,
heaps of spinny stuff.
Yep, lots of spinnies.
Different. Do you know, there was one thing that really fascinated me. We're just losing people. Like, they're just tuning off. Yeah. No, but it went through a whole series of different, I suppose, like, I guess, little oven. Like, as it was this huge line, this huge run of this mono, and as it was going through all different temperature sort of...
interesting.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know the technical words. I'm going to screw it right up. But it was a whole thing. It was crazy.
So maybe that's why Chameleon doesn't feel like mono. It just wasn't left in the oven long enough.
Maybe. Yeah. But But it's actually a really technical product, mono.
Yeah.
We talk about it like it's just
it's an old school piece of shit.
It's not at all. It's really quite technical. And to your point, it was
just backing.
It would, yeah. That's what it's become. That's why the sales are so high still. No, it's not. And there is, again, might sound crazy, there's a big difference between good mono and shit mono.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
No, that I will 100%. I won't even joke about it. You're right. You're right. Everything from diameter to even just trying to tie a knot in it.
Yep. The way, do you remember even just like if it just feathers off the spool and it's not all twisted and fucked out?
Remember when we first saw the spools of mono that came laid perfectly on the spool? It was laid like with purpose. But you used to just get a spool line and it was lined. But then we saw some of the more Japanese style monos start to come into the country and they were just laid perfectly.
Yeah. Last question online for you. Do you spool your own reels?
I do, with the use of a spooling machine.
Let's try that again. Adam, come on.
Nah, I can't do it.
Nah.
No, I actually can't. I have, and not like obviously I can. I know how.
Yeah.
I have zero confidence after so many years being spoiled using a spooling machine. I don't feel as though I have any control of any form of consistent tension. I've got no idea. Even
that's where that's braid, right?
Yeah.
And I think
but even mono.
Okay. So you're even funny about mono. Now, I shouldn't react like that. I'm
probably more funny about mono for the fact that especially on a spin reel, with it coming off the spool one way, but then coming over the top of the spin reel when you're winding it on, it just promotes line twist.
Yep.
Not that it's an issue because I haven't used mono in a long time for me, but and I'm being dead serious. I don't think I'd have the confidence in it, trusting that it's on there well enough. Just
Fair
because I've been using a machine for so long.
I think we've all been through the phase of, and I'm sure a lot of people are still in that phase or still doing it, of holding the spool with a pencil and a tea towel.
I still remember the day it's burning the piss out of your thumbs.
Oh yeah,
and your dad's going, more tension. Yeah. You're like, my thumbs are about to snap or catch fire, one or the other.
Certain spools have different sort of the plastic spool itself has different little knobby bits, and your knuckles are getting cracked on the way through.
Oh, fuck that.
And you're just going, surely you're there, and you look down, you're only half the spool, and you're like, Jesus. Yep. So we've all done that.
Because even being on the winding end was shit because you get tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for mining.
Your arm would get tired.
Yeah, you're right. It's visceral though. I can put myself back in that. I can feel it. I can feel the burn. I can smell the tea towel or the glove starting to smoke.
They definitely melted a few plastic spools on the not reels, the actual line spools. Melted a few of them on the line spool.
I remember some of those spools that would, you do a decent size reel. And at the end, you could smell it through the shop, and you could see the smoke coming up. And
we would wreck welding gloves. Yeah. That's how much. Or you get the real, or you get the best. And we've shouted out this man a few times on this podcast to the point where, Luke, I think we might have to get him on one day and just relive the good old days of the shop. I remember on way more than one occasion going to the spooling bench after Scotty Harps had a crack putting braid on a game reel. Listen, no one put braid on a game reel like Scotty Harps.
Yeah.
But you would walk up to the spooling bench and it would be just littered with plastic dust. But not this fine dust where it was
Chunks.
so hot that it actually flew off the spool as a liquid and then had gone hard again on the bench. And for everybody listening, for those that
That's not even an exaggeration.
No, and for everyone that's been lucky enough to work in a tackle shop, you will know exactly how much I'm not giving Scotty shit. It's a compliment.
It's a massive pat on the back.
And for those that don't know, it's a talent.
It's a skill.
You're
not born
used
with
to
it,
annihilate tea towels. We would annihilate welding gloves.
So if you ever ask yourself, what sort of tension do I need to put on braid to put on the reel? We would melt through welding gloves.
We would not fuck around on the lights, not on the light stuff.
Nah, well, I'm talking about if it was Saragossa 10,000 plus
50 to 80 pound braid plus, it has to go on tight. Otherwise, you're going to get all sorts of issues with it cutting in on itself, especially on bigger fish. On bream and stuff doesn't matter, but the good old days, Luke.
I can almost smell it now.
I can smell it.
Burning plastic and
burning plastic is exactly what it is.
Those chunks of plastic, I have so much. That's such a clear vision in my mind. It's just sort of scattered all over the joint. You'd find it in your shoes later that day. And you're like, what happened there?
It would just be everywhere.
Wow. So, all right. So, look, thank you, Adam, for entertaining my question of, are we putting too much braid on? I think we've landed on
it was a good question.
Well, it is a bit of a serious one, but at the same time, I think we're okay. We're not putting. So we're not going crazy with it, but I just
So what have we come up with? Are we happy with the current system of 150 and 300 meter splits?
No, I think there's an opportunity there. I think there's an opportunity there for someone to release 50 to 60, 50 meter shot,
just to be selling something. Because if you put 20, it's just a couple of wraps, really.
And let's be honest, we're probably talking 4, 6, 8, and 10 pound braid. Oh, not even 10. 4, 6, and 8. You know what I mean? For a 50.
Yeah. Well,
for the ultralight.
How long have we been going for? Is there time for another question?
Yeah, go on.
Does anyone give a shit about anything under 10-pound braid now because they're so thin? Do people still use 2, 4, 6, and 8-pound braid?
I use 6.
In the real thin shit?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's thin braid. Yeah. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. To the point where I feel like it was Lee. We were fishing not long ago, and he had a reel that I grabbed and was casting around. I thought, this feels nice braid. And it was like 25-pound braid or something, but it felt like 6 or 8.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What? So, yeah, no, to your point. I think we might have spoken about it, was where we were talking about, is the actual size or the label of it relevant anymore?
No, with braid, I don't think it is.
Is it thin? Yep, sweet.
Yep, sweet. Yeah, awesome. Are you comfortable with how thin it is? Yeah, 100. I can tie it and I don't feel as though I'm overgunned. Yeah, sweet.
So do you think there's potential slow death for a 6 or an 8-pound braid because it doesn't really matter?
No. I think it will always be relevant because there's also this little underground movement of this BFS fishing starting to take off.
You've been talking about this, mate. I haven't seen the movement.
I'm not going to get into it because I know absolutely nothing about it. We'll have to find someone who knows what they're talking about, and we'll get them on the pod. 100 because
I still think you're making it up.
No, it's a thing. No, seriously, it's a thing. It's a thing. You watch after. All right, hang on, Kate. Write this down.
Okay, who is going to be showcasing?
So
this?
every year,
what do you call it?
BFS.
Bull fucking shit. That's what
Probably. Every year, or most years, at AFTA, the big trade show for our industry up on the Goldie, there's a theme. There's an underlying theme. We've had squid jigs one year. We've had swim baits, micro
crabs.
jigs. Yeah, where everyone's got and
that's just not what you ended up with after a night. Yeah,
I think AFTA gets pretty wild. I think BFS could be a sneaky little theme of what could be at this year's trade show.
Are you giving us some inside goss from a particular company that you're involved in, or?
Oh no, we got none of that shit. But I think
who's going to be
actually
doing
that's a lie. I think we may or may not have a braid. Something finesse system, bait casting.
Oh, okay.
I could have made that. Okay. I could have made that up.
So, are some of the majors going to be doing it? Have you got any intel, or are you just throwing it out there as a wild stab in the dark?
Well, there's already been a BFS reel released. Yeah. This year, like in the last little bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
but I don't know if that was overseas or here, so I don't know. But
let's say
I think it could be a sneaky little theme at AFTA this year.
Well, I've got a couple of people that are heading over to iCast, so I might give them the challenge just to find a.
Yeah, I'd love to know what the theme is over there.
Don't know. So maybe they'll find something there and give us a bit of an insight. But if it's something locally released, come after, I'd be interested / surprised /
We'll do an after wrap up.
Yeah, we'll do an after wrap up.
Yeah, we'll both be there. I think BFS could be the sneaky little.
Okay.
Everyone will have something that's BFS related.
Everyone. Fuck, you've just gone. There might be something there now saying everyone will have something.
Quote me on it. Everyone.
Usually people say, don't quote me on that. You've just
quote me on it?
No, quote me on it. It is the 1st of July, 2000, whatever. Okay.
Because the other thing I'm very confident with, Luke, even if it is not specifically BFS related, I reckon I could make it. That's so.
You could. Okay. All right. Well, there's plenty there, but I think it's been I don't think we've ever spent a full episode talking about line.
I didn't think we'd get there.
I don't think we'll do it again, but
you never know.
I'm joking. We might.
Who knows Who knows? There could be some funky new line.
Hey, as I always say.
No, we will after we run around with our mono tour.
Oh, true. Yeah, the mono tour. That's got a ring to it. There's only two. There are two things in fishing that you cannot go fishing without, and line is one of them.
Well, line is one of them.
The other one's a hook.
Not entirely true.
Well, not spearfishing.
No. What about
Not
those
cast netting.
those sailfish lures that had the material hanging off the back where their bill just gets wrapped in it? It's got no hook.
Fuck off. All right. Well, it's just line then.
Line.
Anyway, thought it was a bit of a statement I was making, but just line it is. All right. Well, that's
All right.
us.
So,
That'll do.
so we're comfortable with 150 and 300 yard spools. We think there could be room for a
Shorter
50
one.
meter spool.
Yep.
We're also saying that lock it in. Well, I'm also saying
You
lock
are.
it in. BFS will be the theme of after this year.
Yep.
And also line is the only thing that you can't go fishing without.
What a bit of cast net. What's made up of fucking mono?
Correct.
All right. So let us know. Give us your feedback. Are we putting too much braid on? Have you ever been spooled? Have you been close to it? Have you ever really gotten past the first 50 meters?
Yeah. I haven't.
How much braid are you using? Do you fish mono? Tell us a bit about mono. Tell us about the
A
colours.
lot of questions.
There
lot
are
of
a
questions.
bit. Just get involved and bloody shoot us a message and let us know. We're getting closer to 100 ads. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
We
do
might
something.
have to think. Yeah, I was going to say, we might have to think of something.
Should we put
special
it?
for
Should we put it out there on Instagram and ask people what should we do for
Ooh.
our 100th? Yeah,
I
let's
think
do
we
that.
should.
Let's do
Could
that.
be some interesting ideas there.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be some good ones. All right.
Right.
Righto. Well, that'll do. Make sure you get involved on the Deep Drop Instagram, the Instagram ads, and of course, the deepdrop.au is the website where you can find all the episodes and details.
Some other cool shit coming to the website. Keep an eye on it.
Some other cool shit coming to the website. Keep an eye on it. And we have a mental blank is what I've just had. I was going to say something. I'm not even going to edit it out because I think we're all at that position, that time of the episode where
Yeah,
we're just
no, I
starting
think-
to lose our shit.
Yeah, something like perfectly.
Share the podcast with your friends. That's what I was going to say. Jump on
amongst it.
Spotify, copy the link, and just blast out a text to everyone in your fucking phone book.
Just do it.
Do it and screen record it and send it to us. I want to see. I want to see it.
Let's see how many clips of what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
How many clips of that we can get?
Hey, keep brave in the cold, everyone. We're nearly through it. No, we're not.
Nearly there.
We're not really. We've got a bit to go, but you can do it. There's some good fishing to be had. For those of you in Western Australia listening, because I know there's a few of you, enjoy that sunshine. We're envious and jealous. For those of you in Southeast Queensland, there's some listeners' ads reached out this week. Love it. Love it. Love hearing where everyone is. It actually genuinely piques my interest.
Yep. The mayor of Gippsland got in contact with me this week. Brett Geddes, shout out to you. I did say I was going to call you back and I haven't. I promise I will.
That's shit. That's shit form.
I promise I will.
You can't not call back the mayor of Gippsland,
I know.
the king of the perch.
I've got a lot to talk to him about though. So
And he's got a lot to talk to you about, ads. He always does.
I need more than 30 seconds.
Nah, fair enough. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Thank you, Adam.
Peace.